All right, okay, we are going to start now. All right, a very good morning to everyone. Okay, for today's lesson, we are going to focus on language awareness in chapter 2, still in chapter 2, which is Life's Great Mysteries. So please pay attention. If you don't understand, you may raise your hand and ask. All right. Okay. All right. Here are the learning objective for today's lesson. Okay. The first one is you have to complete activities 2, 3, and 4 with the correct past symbol or past continuous tense based on any time expressions and clues used in the sentences. Okay, number 2, you have to complete activities 2 and 3 with used to, would, be, or get used to. And number 3, you have to write 5 sentences using the correct form of be or get used to, and circle 6 correct form of be or get used to complete a dialogue. All right. Before we start, okay, there are a few questions here. First question. Post in the list. All right, first question, Melvin.
Yeah, how you can ask, did you go to school yesterday?
So what is the correct way to answer that? Did you go to school yesterday?
No, I didn't go to school yesterday.
All right, good. Okay, question number 2. Who else in the Farisha? Are you there? What were you doing when your sister or brother or parents called you this morning? Anyone calling you this morning? Called means it doesn't it doesn't mean through phone only. Maybe they call out your names at home. Anyone call you to help?
Boyfriend, boyfriend, I think.
Boyfriend? Boyfriend eh? Your boyfriend call you for what? Okay. All right. What were you doing when your sister or brother parents call you this morning? Maybe you are in the middle of attending online classes and someone called you. Okay. Next one. Atika Ayuni. What did you eat last night?
Laksa.
Again?
Laksa.
What did how do you want to answer that question? What did you eat last night?
I eat laksa last night.
All right. What is past tense for eat?
Eating.
No. What is past tense for Hey, hello. What is past tense for eat? It's not eating. Melvin, past tense for eat.
Ate.
Yes. How to spell?
A-T-E.
A-T-E. All right. Correct. Okay. So the main focus for today's lesson is about, firstly, you may refer to page 21. All right. Please refer to page 21. Okay. Page 21. All right. Firstly, you may jot down somewhere, use pencil if you don't understand the meaning. All right, everybody please turn to page 21. Okay, we go one by one first. Okay. Past simple. Okay, what is past simple tense? Okay, past simple, we can use past simple tense for something that started and finished at a stated time in the past. Maksudnya, benda yang bermula dan berakhir pada masa yang sudah lepas. Okay. Next one, for the past routines habit means that rutin harian ataupun kebiasaan yang awak lakukan pada masa lepas. C, you use past tense for situations or states which were true in the past but are no longer true. Maksudnya keadaan ataupun situasi yang memang betul yang terjadi pada masa lepas tapi tidak lagi berlaku sekarang. D, action that happen one after the other in the past. For example, when telling a story. Okay, ini tentang perbuatan yang berlaku pada masa lepas. Dia dalam satu ayat tu dia ada lebih daripada satu perbuatan. So you use past tense as well. And E, for past action which won't, for past action which won't happen again, untuk kejadian yang telah berlaku yang tak mungkin berlaku lagi sekarang. So that is when you are going to use past simple tense. Okay, you may refer to the what we call that, to the examples given there. Wait. Okay, example, the first one, in first situation, they investigated that crime 2 years ago. So you know it happened in the past tense because of the word 2 years ago. So you have to change investigate to investigated. Alright, next one, the archaeologists often visited Egypt. Alright, visited is past tense, you put ed at the back. C, Tony believed in ghosts when he was a child. Okay, maksudnya masa dia kecil-kecil, Tony tu percaya tentang kewujudan ghost. But no longer happen now. Tapi tidak lagi berlaku sekarang. That's why they can use past tense. Alright, D, Dean opened the door of the haunted house, went inside and walked slowly up the stairs. Alright. Next one, E, Homer wrote many stories about the ancient Greeks. Okay, please refer to the sentences on your right. There are 5 sentences. Okay, you have to match those sentences with A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, you read through one by one first before I call anyone to match the first 1 until number 5. Sarah lived in London. So why they use simple past tense? Because of which situation? Who is here? Okay, Nurin Batrisha, the first one. Sarah lived in London. Mana satu keadaan A, B, C, D, E yang menunjukkan you can use past tense for Sarah lived in London? Nurin. E, are you sure A?
A.
They did not mention bila. Macam A dekat situ they mention 2 years ago.
B, teacher.
Again?
B.
No, that is not a habit. Itu bukan habit dia. Itu bukan past routine dia.
E.
No. The correct
B.
answer is C. The correct answer is C. So this one, the correct answer is C. Alright, because situation state which were true in the past but no longer happen now. Alright, number 2. In 1884, Sarah bought a small unfinished farmhouse. So which one referred to sentence number 2?
A.
Started and finished. Nope. Wait, I need to pick up someone. Siapa lagi yang Nosafika? Right. Atika Umaira, which one is your answer for number 2? In 1884, Sarah bought a small unfinished farmhouse. Again. I cannot hear you well, Atika.
D.
D. Action happen one, no, because there is only one. Satu kata kerja je kat sini.
E kot.
E.
Yes, E. The correct answer is E. So only happen one time and won't happen again. Okay, number 3. Sarah never slept in the same bedroom 2 nights in a row. So how to describe that one?
B.
Farisha, what? Again?
B.
What is your answer, Melvin?
B.
Yes. Number 3 is B because it is her routine to sleep in the same bedroom 2 nights in a row, but happened in the past. Okay, number 4, they built the house over 100 years ago. So which one describe that sentence? Hazwa. Hazwa. What is your answer for number 4? Alamak, Azwa, I cannot hear your answer. Mana Hazwa? Alright, number 4, the answer is A, correct. And last one is, of course, D. Okay, Hanis. Hanis, sentence number 5. Which one is the verb? Where is Hanis? Hanis, where are you?
Yeah, teacher.
Which one is the verb?
Verb.
Yes. For sentence number 5. Number 5, which one is the verb? Which one is kata kerja for sentence number 5? Anis? Mana si Anis ni? Which one is
Sorry,
the
teacher.
verb?
Tadi adik saya tu. Verb.
Yes. Alright, left. What else?
Verb. Yang bought tu ke?
Yes. Wrong spelling here. Okay, what else?
Employed.
Employed, correct. One more.
Verbs. When.
Yes. Good.
When. Okay. Sorry, teacher.
Alright. Okay, what about sentence Elsha, Marcela? Sentence number 1, which one is the verb?
Live.
Okay, leave. Number 2, sentence number 2 is bought. Sentence number 3?
Slept.
Alright, slept. One more, sentence number 5. Sentence number 4.
Built.
Alright, good. So all these words are simple past tense. Okay, so now I'm going to explain more about past continuous tense. Okay, this is past continuous tense. Okay, why you use past continuous tense? Firstly, because to show actions that were in progress at a stated time in the past. Okay, menunjukkan perbuatan yang sedang berlaku pada sesuatu masa di masa lepas. For example, the historian was reading a book at 5 o'clock last night. So was reading is past continuous tense. You use was because the historian is singular. And then the verb you have to put ing at the back. So there is a time mentioned here at 5 o'clock last night. Itu perbuatan yang selalunya berlaku. Then they mention about the time. Okay, B, 2 or more actions that were in progress at the same time in the past. Okay, maksudnya 2 ataupun lebih perbuatan yang berlaku pada waktu yang sama di masa lepas, di masa lalu. First one is was watching. Next, was doing. You use was instead of were because of dia punya singular. That's why you use was. And then this word is important, especially when you want to say about 2 things happen in the past. Saya sedang menonton sebuah program dan dalam masa yang sama adik saya sedang membasuh baju. Alright, C, giving background information in a story. Okay, bila awak nak menerangkan sesuatu, latar belakang sesuatu cerita, so you use past continuous tense as well. This one, the sun was shining, John was walking. Again, we use was because it refers to singular, the sun and John. Okay, you use past continuous for an action that was in progress in the past that was interrupted by another. Okay, ini pula awak kena faham di ada 2 perbuatan. Salah satu perbuatan dia telah mengganggu ataupun dia interrupt perbuatan pertama awak. For example, in this sentence, we were talking about our theory when we observe something remarkable. Maksudnya, perbuatan yang pertama, you use past continuous tense, but the second one, you use only past tense. Benda D ni takkan sama dengan B. B ni perbuatan ni berlaku serentak. Meanwhile for D, the first thing we were talking is the first action that happened before the second action interrupt the first one. Okay, look at sentence 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, please match with A, B, C, and D as well. Read the sentence before I call anyone from here. Okay, all right. First one, Sharvina. The wind was blowing and the trees were swaying. What is Sharvina? Where are you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so which description explain sentence number 1? The wind was blowing
B.
and
Right.
your answer is B. Are you sure? That sentence describing which one is suitable for that sentence? You read the description between B and C. Which one is the most suitable one?
Teacher, B.
No. Are you sure it's B? I asked you to read between B and C. Which one is the most suitable one?
Oh.
Hmm? Apa, what we call that? Apa verbs, apa kejadian, apa perbuatan yang terjadi dekat number 1 tu?
C.
Why must... Yes, the correct answer is C. It is giving information about story. This is the most suitable one. Okay, number 2. Number 2, Amal. Is Amal here? Just now I saw Amal's name.
B.
Okay, good. Number 2 is B. Number 3, Hanif, Irshad. Mr. and Mrs. Smith were sleeping when they heard a bell ring loudly at midnight. Hanif? Hanif? Mana Hanif ni? Melvin, please help Hanif.
D.
Ah,
D,
ah,
D, 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 D.
yes. D. The first one, this is were sleeping. They use were because Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2 person. That's why they use were, plural. So this is the first action. The second one, here come the second action. All right, number 4 is of course A. Okay, now I'm going to show you a video clip. Wait, no, I don't need pen.
On a cold, dark night, Alyssa was working late at the office. It was already midnight when she finally finished her work. As she was leaving her office, she realized the streets were now empty. She was all alone. While she was walking back home, she heard some footsteps behind her. She turned around to look, but no one was there. So she continued walking, but she could still hear footsteps behind her. Alyssa is really scared now, and she started to run, but the footsteps behind her got louder and faster. Someone was chasing her. As she was running, she saw a cemetery. She quickly ran into the cemetery and hid there. When Alyssa was hiding, the footsteps stopped. Maybe she lost him. Just then, Alyssa remembered there's a 24-hour convenience store nearby. She can go there for help. She quickly ran to the store. She went inside and begged the man for help. But the man said to her,
In this video, we'll look at the past continuous. You may also know this as the past progressive. We use the past continuous to talk about an action in progress in the past. Let's examine this using a timeline with the example, someone was chasing her. Someone started chasing her sometime in the past, but we don't know when. And that person stopped chasing her sometime in the past. Again, we don't know when. But we are talking about the whole period from start to finish. We can also use the past continuous for background events. For example, on a cold, dark night, Alyssa was working late at the office. This sentence sets the background and the setting of the story. We use the past simple for completed actions or repeated actions. For example, she quickly ran into the cemetery. This action is finished and completed. When we use two past simple actions, the second action happened after the first action. For example, she quickly ran into the cemetery and hid there. So she ran into the cemetery first. Then she hid inside the cemetery. We can also combine the past continuous with the past simple. The past continuous refers to a longer background action or situation. The past simple refers to a shorter action. The shorter action happened while the longer action was still happening. But sometimes these two actions happen at the same time. For example, as she was leaving her office, she realized the streets were now empty. In this sentence, Alyssa leaving her office is the longer action, and her realizing that the streets were now empty is the shorter action. So Alyssa was leaving her office, and during this time, she noticed that the streets were now empty. But she didn't stop leaving the office when she noticed this. Sometimes the shorter action interrupted the longer action. While she was walking back home, she heard some footsteps behind her. She turned around to look. Alyssa walking back home is the longer action. Hearing the footsteps is the shorter action. In this case, the footsteps interrupted her walking and made her stop to look back before she continued walking again. We can use two past continuous actions in the same sentence to show that both actions were happening at the same time. For example, I was walking home and someone was following me. We don't know which action started first. Maybe the mysterious stalker started following Alyssa before she even left the office. Or maybe he started following her sometime after she left the office. We also don't know which one finished first. Maybe the stalker stopped following her after she arrived home, or maybe sometime before she arrived home. We just know that during a certain period in the past, these two actions were happening at the same time. We can also use 3, 4, 5, or even more past continuous actions in the same sentence, and all these actions were happening at the same time, sometime in the past. Let's look at the form now. The form for statements is subject plus was or wasn't and weren't for negatives, plus verb in the ing form. For example, Alyssa was working late at the office. The form for yes/no questions is was or were plus subject plus verb in the ing form. Was Alyssa working late? For open questions, it's WH how question word plus was or were plus subject plus verb in the ing form. Why was Alyssa working late? To join past continuous and past simple actions, we use conjunctions such as while, when, and as. For example, while she was walking home, she heard some footsteps behind her. When Alyssa was hiding, the footsteps stopped. As she was running, she saw a cemetery. We can also switch the order of the tenses by placing the past simple at the front of the sentence. She heard some footsteps behind her while she was walking back home. Let's look at another example now. Alyssa was at home watching TV when her phone rang. Which action started first? Alyssa watching TV or her phone ringing? Watching TV started first. Do we know when Alyssa started watching TV or when she stopped? No, we don't. Did the phone call interrupt Alyssa watching TV? Yes, it did. Did she continue watching TV after the phone call? Usually we assume she continued watching TV, but it can also be true that she stopped watching TV after the phone call. It all depends on the situation.
All right.
If you've enjoyed our video, please visit our website at
Okay. Are you clear with the video?
Yes.
Are you sure you are very clear with simple past tense and past continuous tense? Before I let you do other homeworks from the textbook. Okay, again, I will repeat again. All right. Okay, this is the example again of words for simple past tense. All right. Some of the word you have to put ed. Some of the word we have to change it totally. For example, this one, break. So the past tense is broke. Next one, she didn't jump. And the other example is did they run. So you have to bear in mind after this word didn't or did not or did, you have to write root word. No need to put ed. Same goes when you create a question. When you construct questions, when you use did in front, did they run, still run is a root word. You don't have to put ed or change the word into ran. Okay, for past continuous tense, you have to put was or were plus the verb you have to put ing at the back. Was or were depends on the subject, whether it is singular or plural. Singular, you use was. Meanwhile, for were, you use for plural. So you have to bear in mind between the subject, whether it is singular or plural. Okay, all right, let's look at other example. Okay, the simple past is normally followed by time expression. Okay, usually simple past tense, there are the time expression. What is time expression? Example, they mentioned yesterday, in 1990, they stated the time. Then, when, last month, last week, last summer, 3 days ago, some time ago, or a week ago. Okay. This one, we use the simple past tense for finished action in the past. Maksudnya perbuatan yang sudah habis pada masa lepas. Example, yesterday, the other time expression, yesterday, I went to the cinema with my friends. What time did you arrive home? I didn't pass my English test last term. Last term ni time expression. That's why you use simple past tense only. Okay, meanwhile, for past continuous tense, you use for action happening in the past, meaning to say that the action is in progress in the past, but there is no specific time mentioned. For example, we were watching TV. Dia tak ada pun letak last week ke, last month ke, last night ke. If let's say you put the word last night, you have to change we watched TV with some friends last night. If let's say there is time expression, you have to change to past tense only without were or was and ing. Okay, same goes with sentence number 2. I wasn't studying English. Okay, it refers to you did not study English at all, tapi dia tak letak pun time expression. So you use past continuous tense. What were you doing yesterday morning? Okay, this one is you were asking that particular person, what did they do yesterday? Okay, next slide. Okay, the past continuous is normally used with time and time expression. Okay, tadi time expression je, This one time and time expression. Example, at 10 a.m. this morning. The other time expression, morning. Or yesterday evening, then they put time here. Okay, next one is when two or more verbs happen in the past. So one action followed the other action, meaning to say that this is got up is the first action. After you got up, you brushed, then you had your breakfast. So after one verb to another verb, you use simple past tense. Again, they mention here yesterday morning. Alright. Next one is you use past continuous when two actions happen at the same time. Okay, last night while ni is part of past continuous. While my father was watching the TV, my sister was listening to the radio and I was doing my homework in my bedroom. It means all these three things happen at one time together. Dia berlaku serentak. Alright. Next, you use past simple and the past continuous tense when the action expressed by the past simple interrupt. Maksudnya interrupt means mengganggu action expressed by the past continuous tense. Example, number 1. While I was driving to work, I had an accident. Yang kedua ni, perbuatan kedua, you have to use past tense. The first one, you use past continuous tense. I was driving to work, then I had an accident. Number 2, I was having a shower when the phone rang. Maksudnya dia tengah mandi dulu, tiba-tiba the phone rang. Next one, why were you doing when I called you last night? Okay, dia tanya apa yang awak tengah buat masa dia called last night. So the second one, you have to change into past tense only. Dia tak berlaku serentak. Dia interrupt, mengganggu the first action. Alright, next one. Okay. The action expressed by the past continuous begin before the action expressed by the past simple. Okay, while is normally followed by the past continuous, when is normally followed by the past simple. Awak kena ingat while ni selalunya digunakan untuk past continuous. Meanwhile for when is used for past simple. Example, while I was driving to work, I had an accident. I was having a shower when the phone rang. What were you doing when I called you last night? Okay, there are two exercises from the textbook itself that I would like you to do. Okay, alright, you are going to do exercise number 4 only in your book. But before that, let's look at exercise 3 first. We try to do it together for exercise number 3. Okay, circle the correct words to complete the sentences. Okay, who wants to start first? We start from Aida Shahira.
Yes, teacher.
What is your answer?
My answer is wasn't
They are the
watching.
time. Yes, correct. Because they have time expression, dia ada masa, dia ada time expression. Yesterday, then dia ada letak time. So the answer is wasn't watching. Okay, number 2, Arif Zulkifli, are you there? Siapa Arif Zulkifli ya? Teacher pun hilang ingatan dah. Okay, we move on to Atikah Ayuni. Number 2. Atika Ayuni, number 2. Benda perbuatan tu telah habis.
Directed.
Yes, good. The second one is directed. Benda perbuatan tu telah selesai. So you use past tense only. Okay, number 3, Faris. Faris. Which Faris is this? Mana Faris ni? Nama Faris beria. Okay. We have back to Melvin.
Yes, teacher.
Your answer for number 3.
Every year, Pat brought me a mysterious box and we were opening it together.
Every year, okay. Brought is the correct answer. Every year, Pat brought me a mysterious box and we open it together.
Oh,
It is like a story. When you use a story, you have to use past tense only. Okay, number 4, Farisha.
Lara was reading a book
Yes, correct.
while Tyler was surfing the net.
All right, good. Lara was reading a book of myth while Tyler was surfing the net. Number 5, Anissa.
Did they solve?
Yes, correct. Did they solve the mystery in 1990? Correct. Number 6, Hazwa. Hazwa, are you there? Hazwa ada tak ni? Hazwa. What is your answer, Hazwa? I cannot hear you well. Okay, I give to Sharin. Ahmad Sharin, can you try?
Hello, can you hear me, teacher?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Number 7, right?
Number 6.
Oh, number 6.
Yes.
Tom knew about the result.
Yes. Tom knew. All right. Number 7. What is the correct answer for number 7? Fatihah Najwa.
I think the spirit was coming out of the castle, walked down to the lake and was disappearing.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, but then for number 7, you have to bear in mind when we talk about a story, most of the time we use past tense. The spirit came out of the castle, walked down to the lake and disappeared. Okay, all right, thank you very much, everyone. So for your homework, I would like you to do exercise 4 only. Okay, please do exercise 4 only. You use is either past simple or past continuous tense. Bear in mind, past continuous tense, you have to put was or were first plus verb ing. Okay, was or were depending on the subject in that sentence. So, are you clear? Is everyone clear with the homework?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm going to end my class now. I will see you again on Thursday if there is no changes with your timetable. And I will do listening task for next class. So make sure you join the class on time because I'm going to play the audio. So I'm not going to repeat the audio. You have to listen and we have to do the practice from the textbook as well. All right. Any
teacher.
other question before we leave? No question. So everyone is clear with the task?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. You don't have to snap the picture of your homework. We are going to discuss the answers together before we start the listening task on Thursday. So just complete it and we will continue it on Thursday. All right. Thank you, everyone. Wait, do not go out yet because I need to download the attendance list from here first. All right, then. All right, you may leave the class now. I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
All
teacher.
right. Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Teacher.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah, yeah.
teacher.
Video limit